Ladies and gentlemen, you're on InnervisionFM.com.
Are y'all going to the movie?
Uh-huh.
Great. I'm Lolita, and this here's Tanqueray. Can we be your dates?
You mean like sit with us and stuff? Yeah, we're gonna score.
Oh my God.
Running out. Hi everybody, this is the Godfather, Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather, Soul James Brown, saying stay with it and hit it. Well, okay, thank you.
My name is Loretta and Tanqueray. Oh man. Okay.
You have joined us on Innervision FM, InnervisionFM.com. This is Johnnie J, and I'm Alan C, and we've reached the middle of the week.
Okay. And can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
you hear me all right?
Yes, I got you. Yeah, I just had to play Tanqueray and was it Tanqueray and I forget. I forgot the names of these. I recorded that a long time ago. And my ex-wife, she used to hate that I would let the kids watch Beavis and Butthead.
They are definitely paragons of virtue, and there's none like them on the planet. And through the 90s, I believe it was, the whole United States of America was enthralled and bewitched by their comedy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, and I keep getting this notification, this other meeting, they want me to join it, but I keep telling them I'm doing the show now. Stop telling me I want to join. But anyway, you know what? Tonight is going to be fantastic. And when you're the co-host, so you can see, hopefully you can see the controls I can see.
I do.
Okay. All right, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, gotta remind you, press that red button to subscribe, then hit the bell button. So whenever we go live or do something like that or put out another video, you'll be notified. And so far we have like 160 viewers a month. So we'd like to thank you guys, and we wish all you guys can subscribe and then tell at least, let's see, how many would it take to get 1,000 of those 160 viewers? At least 6 of you twice. So tell a friend, all right? And then you sign up and then tell a friend and then leave your questions there. And if we don't answer it like during the show now, I'll answer it later on within 24 hours, because I always check back and look at the YouTube, the Facebook, and then the Rumble as well. And then we're going to add another one called Getter. As soon as I figure out how to put the screaming key in there, I'll add that one. Twitter. I don't check Twitter as much as I should, but I will check it. So, man, the options, Alan, are going up and up. Places.
Definitely through the roof. I mean, with technology, we have the ability to reach more people than we ever have. And, as entertainers and as that type of thing, that's really important. We support the grassroots musician at InnervisionFM.com. So if you've got any music that you would like to have promoted, why hit us up at info@InnervisionFM.com and shoot us an email in the subject line, just a little something about yourself, and in the body, less is more. But we'll see about getting you on the air.
And right now, I'm in the midst of filling out this grant. This is for $50,000 to do a concert in one of our illustrious cities. So we're gonna let's see, bus or fly Alan in for that one because, $50,000 can go a long ways just to do little fun stuff. And so,
Absolutely. It's gonna be a lot of fun, folks.
yeah. So we're
We-
going to be planning on that.
Of bands that we're going to be bringing on here in the near future, just to kick off the springtime and get people ready for the summertime. Can you believe we're already nearly 1/6 of the way in 2022?
Yeah. And I just finished signing up to be a part of my caucus here. And I hope is a better show up than it was in 2018. I mean, it was 7 people, and then they gave me the list of 100 people that should have been there. And I said, wait a minute, how come you guys weren't calling these 100 people before now? So I heard there's some new blood pumping into the Denver and Colorado Republican Party. And I just, look for that fresh injection so those 100 people can show up so I don't feel so alone in a room of 7. Doesn't it sound like some kind of famous trial? The trial of 7?
7, exactly.
Oh, man. Gee. So
Hey,
tonight,
speaking of 7,
yeah, yes.
looks like Betty Davis, one of the greatest funk icons to ever live. She went ahead and took her leave of us today at the age of 77. So
Betty Davis?
she will be missed.
Wasn't there a song made by her? She got Betty Davis eyes, but that was by another lady.
That would be Kim Carnes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So Betty Davis has left the building. That's
absolutely right.
That is wow. Well, okay. Well, prayers out to her family and stuff like that, and of course we probably won't be invited to the festivities because they might not know about us.
They may not know about us. They may not know about us. So tell all your friends about InnervisionFM.com. We have a number of different programs that are available for your viewing and listening enjoyment. We are 24/7. Among one of our featured shows is Alfonso the Clown.
Yeah.
And we've got Robert
Randall.
Yeah. And these two folks they've been with us for quite some time. When can you find their show?
At 3 p.m. on Fridays. 3 to 5 is the Alfonso Clone Show. And then at 5:30 comes the Randall Show. And Alfonso, he said something, and this kind of, so we're going to be playing some of those old shows for now. Something about they're moving from one house to another house in the same kind of area, but they have to take his studio down. So I just tell him, I say, hey, take as long as you want. We got plenty of your shows, so we're going to be running some of the shows and reruns while they're in the midst of moving from one house. I guess they have to show the house. So I don't know. So instead of like living there, when people come in and show it, they're going to empty it and then storage their furniture until they sell the house.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but he'll be back with new shows as soon as that stuff is taken care of.
And you also run 24/7 worth of music on KINV.
Yeah.
And you can find that also on the Innervision FM website. So just a little bit of housekeeping, and we do need to keep the lights on. So do that. We've got a couple of different ways that you can help us and be involved at paypal.me/InnervisionDenver. It's paypal.me/InnervisionDenver, and the Cash App handle being I lost the Cash App handle.
Oh, it's a $sign Innervision capital J.
All right.
Yeah. And I just got a notification from Jimmy Tillman, so he may not be on next Tuesday. Let me read this while let me go ahead and read this because I wanted to confirm that for next week.
All right. Well, while you're checking into that, I'll break into the topics a little bit. Tonight, we have a couple of things for you. Individuals in the news oftentimes like to kind of stay in the news, like that limelight and that kind of thing. And there are a couple of individuals that are absolutely of no exception. Let's see. Firstly, Jannet Jackson. She's not so much in the news as she once was, but she definitely did like to have her things in a certain way. Jannet Jackson, Michael Jackson were very big pop icons back in the 1980s. Jannet Jackson was one of the last of the Jackson family to really break out and gain control of her own conservatorship, as it were.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
Oh, now let me tell you what about Jimmy Kimmel. He's running for Senate in a state, so he has to go like 2 hours to this other county to do a rally. So he won't be on next Tuesday, but she's going to come in this coming Friday to reschedule it. So next Tuesday he won't be on because he's going to be doing something else. We're going to do a Valentine show. We'll come up something else to put in that slot, and then next Wednesday we're going to have a interview I did with Wayne Turner many years ago, and we're going to have pictures, and that's going to be showing on our Wednesday show. So it's going to be an interesting Valentine's week next week.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Now, Jannet Jackson. Yeah, I watched the whole, I don't know if it was an hour and 20 minutes. Now, if it's on TV, it's usually an hour, but then with commercials, it's probably like maybe 90 minutes with commercials and everything like that. So I did on demand because at the time it was playing, I don't know what I was doing, but I couldn't switch from what I was doing to switch over to that. So I watched them all, and man, you know, whenever you guys think that you had like a bad, I guess, first marriage or second marriage. Well, second marriage lasted 9 years, but the first one was only a year, and so they annulled it. So does that mean, even though you were married a year, so if you annulled it, does that just mean that it really never existed?
I believe legally that is what an annulment does. Is it's as if the marriage never existed. I'm not sure because I did not go to the bar, but well, I've been to plenty bars, but just not the bar association.
Yeah. So what it was, she married this guy. He was from the LaBar family, and they were a singing group. But I guess like Joe Jackson kept a tight rein because he didn't. I guess he lived in the rough side of Indiana, and he didn't want his kids involved with the drugs or the gang life or just hanging out in the corners. So he had to, when they weren't going to school, he had them lifting bricks and putting bricks from one side to another to keep them busy. You know, that's good muscle builder. And he says, I want to see all these bricks from over here to over there. After you guys get through with your homework, I want you to do this. And so when I get home, I want to see all this stuff done. And so that stuff was done. And who knows, I think, you know, Mrs. Jackson was in charge of keeping the girls in line. And I think it was one scene in the movie where the one of the older daughter, I don't know if it was Latora or one of the other older daughter, one of them to cook greens, but she didn't know that you needed to wash the greens off. So there was like bugs floating on top of the green. And so the mother had to drain it, get out the bugs. You know, they're not gonna throw away the greens, you know, just wash it off and continue cooking. So So, I once knew this one lady that when I was sequestered, like Dreamland, to stay here and record the 3 albums. This one girl, she wanted to use bleach to wash the dishes. And I think she was like maybe 17 or 16, but nobody ever told her that you do not use bleach to wash dishes. So parents, you don't know how important, sometimes you don't know how important you are to just telling your kids little simple things, right? So getting back to Janet Jackson though, okay, I diverse because I think of these other things. So, okay, she got married, I think it was 17 to just DeBarge, and they were friends. And he says, well, she didn't know who I really was. And I guess he had this innocent, he's young, so the drugs probably didn't affect him physically as if you were a 35 or 45-year-old, on drugs. If you're only like 17 or 18, then you might not look that abused because your body can jump back.
Yeah, exactly. Your body can bounce back theoretically.
Right. So she didn't know, and her parents never had that sit down talk that, the what's that, Barbara Bush, Just Say No? Or was it Reagan's wife who just said,
Nancy Reagan.
Nancy Reagan, Just Say No. So they weren't a part of that, and that was in 1983.
83, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So she got married. And at one point, it says that she was rolling around on the floor with the guy because he would have these drugged pills. And before I get it, on the wedding night, because they just eloped, and they went and did the paperwork, and then they went back to the hotel, and that's your wedding night, female wedding night, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So he says, "Hey, I'll be right back," and he didn't come right back until 3 days later. Now, to me, that would have been a red flag. But to women are amazing. Because sometimes they think they can fix something that is broken. And that becomes their project. I'm going to fix you. Yeah. So
this guy did not show back up for 3 days. Is that right, Johnny?
Yeah. So she let that go. And then sometimes he wouldn't show up for a week.
Wow.
Sometimes he wouldn't show up for a month. I mean, you guys do concerts and stuff like that, but this was more than just concerts,
Oh, absolutely.
And, so the final break was like, I guess he had came home with some pills. He was going to take them and get high. And she grabbed them and she was going to throw them in the toilet. And so then that commenced in a wrestling match, and they were rolling on the floor, trying to prevent the pills from going in the toilet, right? And
okay.
So then he said he had to go to his brother, I guess, to pick up some more drugs. And then I think either during this time or right before that, 3 of his brothers were arrested for drug possessions and put in jail. And so she took him over to her remaining brother's house and dropped him off, locked the doors, drove to her parents' house, and then got the annulment.
Wow. She went ahead and cut this guy loose. And he ended up getting married again. And
it took a while.
It was similar, but not the same. Obviously, she did learn her lesson with the gentleman in making sure that he was at least clean and sober the second time.
But his obsession was he was a video photographer, and he helped her make some of the most sexiest, interesting videos of her career in that 9-year period. But the only problem was there used to be a comedian on Saturday Night Live, and he used to this character called Philando, and it says, "It is better to look good than to feel good." And this guy was definitely into, you have to look good to go outside. You just can't go out in sweats, or you can't go out without your makeup. You can't go out, looking this way and that way. And he kept on her about how she should look when she left. And I guess he didn't have an off button. He wanted, and I guess that can become draining if you don't have, behind closed doors we can be ourselves, but on stage, this is the performance. And I think my wife had a hard time with that too, because she thought I would be like the person I am on the radio. And I said, no, that's that person. I get paid for that. I'm just here I'm here relaxing, and the show is not every night. You're lucky if you get it once a month. So this guy didn't know how to turn off the show, and it became draining on her, always being on, and he would always stage things. I mean, it was like a family event. He would want to stage the picture taking and take one, take two, and I says, wait a minute, this family picture, family fun.
So basically, he took all the naturalness out of it and wanted to choreograph her entire life. Is that?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah. So she did that for 9 years, and then she says, "Hey, I can't do this anymore." Right? And so the relationship, so I'm just focusing on stuff that we didn't know as the public, because I didn't know. I knew about the first marriage, but I didn't know about the second one, and I sort of knew about the third one, where she finally ended up having a baby at the age of 50 years old, and I said, wow. And that was doing well. Let's see, Michael died at age of 50, so she was, I think she is 5 years younger than Michael.
Right.
Yeah. So she was like around 45 or whatever. And I guess she was working on, as you remember, she did the wardrobe mishap at the Super Bowl with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
And so people were upset. And I remember the press, she did the press release where she was saying, hey, I didn't mean for this to happen. It was an accident, all that kind of stuff. And so people started shying away from her. Also, Michael was going through, what was that? These court things, and his attorneys advised him to just give them the money. And so he did. But then that, she was guilty by association. And so she had this, Michael was doing the Pepsi commercial where he got burned. Then Coca-Cola came to her and wanted to do this multi-million thing. But when all that stuff broke out, then they took that away. They took that off the table.
Right.
And so then, I guess, Michael died and all that kind of stuff, and they went through all that stuff. Then when she was 50, she had a baby because she went to different countries to, because if you have the money, you can fly to different countries that are doing different things. And she had a baby boy, which I guess she's raising this boy by herself. And so she's still doing shows and well, I won't say, I left out a lot of stuff, but I don't know, more than 4 hours of watching it. It was just fascinating. I might even watch it again before my, I guess I could watch it up until the 7th of March. So it's just very interesting. And I recommend, if you get a chance, watch the documentary for yourself. Don't take secondhand news from me. And, I think you will enjoy what she did, and the arguments that she had with Jimmy Jam, her producer. She fired her father. The brothers fired him first, and then she fired him. And then Joe Jackson, they didn't talk about this. He went off and found another group, and he managed those guys for a while. And so, he led with a stern hand, and maybe he could have let up a little bit, but he needed that discipline, and they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for Joe.
Well, that is true. That is true.
And and she hasn't been a crybaby. And the main thing in this, she says, work hard and stay focused, and you can be a success. And I would bet there's a lot of people who want to sing, who want to do all that stuff, but they're not willing to work hard to do what they need to do to get to that level.
Well, and
right?
that's the thing is not only working hard, not only staying focused, but stay in the game. Stay in the game when it's not popular. Stay in the game when you're not making the money. Stay in the game anyway. Keep running because it will pay off.
Yes, and it definitely did for her and her family, man. It's like, and it's just so funny. Like I'm listening to the other guys, and I said, "Man, they sound so old," and I guess they are old because, and it's like, so I wish there was some audio description in that one because it's like, and then I don't know why they have Whoopi Goldberg narrating, give some narration, and then Al Sharpton. I said they could have left those two out, and it would have made no difference at all. But oh well, they needed to grab the camera, so that's the only distraction I saw about the thing was Whoopi and
Sharpton.
And Sharpton. So anyway, a lot of stuff I left out. Go watch it for yourself. And now for the next one, Rogan, Joe Rogan. You got to touch on it. Oh, and this show's been sponsored by Christian Brothers Moving Company, and they'll take care of your needs. Give them a call. They're located in Englewood, and I think they have an office in Phoenix and Texas as well. So Christian Brothers Moving Company. So Joe Rogan, people thinking that he is something that he's not because they just discovered him.
Well, and that's interesting because he is a open-minded radio talk show host along the lines of Howard Stern. I mean, he'll have anybody and everybody on, provided they'll come on. So he'll have people that are conservative on. He'll have people that are on the left-hand side on. And he is what used to be termed as a classic liberalist. He would definitely fall in line with those type of folks that are live and let live. They may not believe the same way that we believe or whatever, but they definitely defend to the death our right to have our belief structures as a liberal used to be, as a traditional Democrat used to be. Joe Rogan is branded now as being somewhat of a conservative. That may not be the complete truth there.
No. I mean, he's just hearing both sides of the story, which news used to, well, wasn't it? I think it used to be, or it tried to be 60 Minutes used to be, but now it's now, what do they call it? Not protest journalism, activist journalism now.
Yeah.
Which I hate that they're more activists than just give me the news, just give me the facts, and let me decide what I want to think about it, and don't submerge the news because you don't think we should hear, like the Hunter Biden laptop,
Right.
and many other things that they just go, oh, the public doesn't need to know that, or being on this side and just hate that person and only because they're on the side of the other party and they want to be invited to the parties, the rich and powerful. I don't know. So Rogan, okay, for you conservatives, if you like entertainment, listen to him, but he's not the savior. Just as Kanye West wasn't, just because he wore the MAGA hat, and Lil Wayne, who didn't vote, he just said vote for this guy because Trump had cut off they were going to get him on a federal charge that would have put him away for maybe 10 or 20 years. And Trump intervened and made that disappear. So of course he was happy, but he, like I said, he was telling you to vote and people and his followers, but he didn't vote at all. So so that's another wannabe. You want him to be the savior of the Republican Party. Say, hey, look at the diversity, but he was just thankful that he didn't get 10 to 20 years in jail. So that's the Lil Wayne story. So just do some research, people, before you jump on the wagon and say this person is the next savior. Really, we should all be in our own communities, being our own savior, and getting into these elected seats, school board, dog catcher, city council.
That's absolutely right.
So slow down, hold the reins a little bit. Joe Rogan is not the next cowboy with the white hat and the white horse and with the mask. Who's that masked man? It's the Lone Ranger. So, oh man. And last here in Colorado, there's a video called Denver in Decay, made by Stephen Tubbs. If you get a chance, watch that. We've had a terrible homeless problem ever since Hickenlooper. I think it started with Hickenlooper, with the road home, where he raised $14 million, which disappeared. But anytime Democrats throw money at something, they make more of it. Like the war on poverty. Well, there's more poverty now than there was when they started the war on poverty. The war on drugs, more drugs now than what it was when. So whenever Democrats say they want
a war on something, there's going to be more of that thing.
Yeah.
If you want to front terror, there's going to be more terror. There's going to be, oh man, they definitely know how to throw a party. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and let me tell you, and I just met somebody today. It was really weird. I went across the street to gets this bean burrito. I like this place that gets bean burritos. And this guy was walking down the street, and he says, I just got here. And I said, oh, okay, And so I got lost a little bit, found my way back. Then he says, I went to the shelter, this place to get some food, and they wouldn't give me any food because I didn't have an ID, some kind of homeless shelter. And I'm thinking so I told him, you go up to Woody's on 8th and, I think it's La Pan, and they'll get you an ID, shower, and lunch with no ID, because they never asked me, because I used to go over there, because when we had our station over there, I used to work over there and go to lunch there, and I just like hanging out with Miss K and everybody else and just listening to the stories and stuff like that.
Right.
But how do you get to Denver without an ID? Is it possible? Do you hitchhike, or how does that happen?
I can't say as I know. I've been a couple of places with and without my ID, and it's a much better thing to have my ID, especially when I go to try to find employment. I would imagine the homeless population isn't so concerned about how they get their employment.
And could it be blowing smoke? Because I have never heard of a place that give out. Well, no, I have. There are places where you need ID and sign in and stuff like that. So I have heard of that.
Places, though. I mean, or they're usually places that deal specifically in trying to get people up and out of their situation.
And I thought maybe that was my chance. As you do it unto the least of these, you did it unto me. I thought,
right.
Maybe that was an opportunity for me to say, I'll go buy, I'll buy me a burrito. I'll buy you a burrito too.
Okay.
But I missed that opportunity because it was cold outside. So the coldness took over and I'm lost, and I'm thinking how am I going to get back? And so next time I need to think, forget about the cold and, because I bought people food before,
Sure.
And stuff like that. So if their food is what they want, I can certainly do $7, whatever. So anyway,
that's better than doing a bunch of drugs, drinking a bunch of alcohol, and just doing that route.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I guess that's going to do it for us tonight. And you got your 4-day weekend. Yeah, 4-day. Oh, happy Valentine's, and we'll do a Valentine's show. We'll figure out something. I'm going to find some fun stuff to talk about on Valentine's Day, and we'll have fun.
Some of you folks may not know how Valentine's Day started, so tune in. I'll dig up historical facts on Valentine's Day. and it'll be it'll be a lovely, wonderful day built on love, sweet love, true love. Ladies and gentlemen, love makes the world go round here on InnervisionFM.com.
Hit that red button, hit the bell button so you can be notified, and we'll see you next week.
That's right.